Everybody, welcome. It's Saturday morning. We have a good long workout today. We're going to do 6 times 8 minutes with 6 minutes rest in between. We're going to do a 15-minute warm-up and cool down with some technical focuses. But mostly this is just going to be some good hard pieces. They're pretty low rate. Each piece is going to be 22 strokes a minute for 4 minutes, 24 for 2 minutes, and 26 for 2 minutes. So each piece is the same step rate from 22 to 24. As always, I recommend starting a little bit easier and increasing speed throughout the workout so that your last 6 minutes is, or excuse me, your last 8 minutes is your fastest. All right, let's get started. Gonna set the drag factor. I use a drag factor of 115 to 120. I know Lou uses a little bit higher. He uses about a 130. He's a big guy. So we'll do that to start. There we are. Feel free to ask questions or make comments during the warm-up or between pieces. You can ask a question during a piece. I just won't answer you. All right, we'll start out with a pick drill. Arms only. Ready. Go. As some of you know, this week I've been working on pulling in a little lower. I have a bad habit of pulling in too high. So I'm focusing on pulling in just above my belly button. Arms and body in 2, 1, 2. When we add in quarter slide here, I'm going to focus on keeping my knees down until my hands are past my knees. Into quarter slide. This is 1, 2, quarter slide. Half slide in 2, 1, 2. As I'm warming up, I also like to think about my breathing. Generally, I try to breathe out on the drive and in on the recovery. Of course, that all goes out the window once I start doing pieces and I'm breathing harder. But it's a good thing to think about warming up. Into 3/4 slide. This is 1, 2. And into full slide. 1, 2. We'll go for about another minute here. Just pretty easy stroke rate. About 19 I'm at. After that, we'll do 2 minutes a little harder. 1 minute will be at 22. Excuse me. 1 minute at 22 and 1 at 24. But for now, just 19. In 2, build to 22. That's 1, 2, build. This is the stroke rate where we'll start the pieces. So, nice, long, strong strokes here. In 2, 24. 1, 2. Whew. 30 more seconds at this rate, and then we'll paddle. Paddle. I'm breathing hard. Take a minute to catch your breath. I'm gonna take off my long sleeve. Definitely warm now. I'm also gonna adjust my camera a little bit. Go. Okay. From here, we got about another 7 minutes of warm up. We'll do some 20s. The first 20 is going to be legs only. A little bit of a technical drill. Now, as we do this drill, I want you to look down at your seat. Now, when you do, make sure your chest stays up, your shoulders don't collapse. But the purpose of that is to make sure that your seat and your handle are moving at the same speed. And you can do that by watching it. So in 2, pause at body over. That's 1, 2, pause. And from here, we're going to come forward and take legs only strokes. Ready? Row. Watching your feet, making sure it moves at the same speed as your handle. pressure should be medium, enough that you feel it, but not so much that you're hurting yourself. Sometimes legs only can be hard on the back. Ten more. Chest up. Eyes down. This helps relax the back of your neck too. Okay, you can look up the last few strokes. Still keeping shoulders down, neck long. In 2, we'll go full strokes. That's 1, 2, and you can just paddle here. All right. We're going to do 3 more 20s. Building rate from 24 to 28. I'm going to strap my feet in. I've been running feet out. All right. So we'll build the 24 into this 1, 2. Build for 20 strokes. Paddle. Next 20 is at 26. Build it 2. That's 1. Build. Paddle. And our last 20 will be a 28. That is, of course, 2 beats higher than the highest rate we'll be doing in the workout, just to get the engine revved into 28. That's 1, 2, build. paddle. Woo! Feel good. Saturday. All right, well, that is our warm-up. We'll take a couple minutes before we start the pieces. If anyone has any questions, comments, now is a good time. Again, for effort on these pieces, start conservative, finish strong. I'm going to be pulling, let's see, I'm going to aim to finish my last one a little bit below my 6K pace. So we're not talking 2K pace here. It's hard to do that at a 26. So just to give you an idea of where to start, I guess that means I'll probably be starting a couple splits above my 6K pace, and maybe even at the 22 a little slower than that. So,
Karen, can you repeat the paces for the 8 minutes again? The
rates?
The stroke rates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 22 for 4 minutes. So the first half will be at a 22, nice and low. Then the next 2 minutes will be 24. And the last 2 minutes will be 26. I'll call the rate shifts as we go. So set your monitors. You're going to want intervals of time, 8 minutes on, 6 minutes off. Right. Strap in. So this 22 is going to feel low after just warming up to 28. So just stay calm. Everybody stay calm. All right, 8 minutes. Sitting at the catch. Ready, row. Build to 22. Get a nice breathing rhythm here. Make sure you're getting enough oxygen. Leave the arms out long as you push the legs. 2 more minutes at this rate. When we go up in rate, we'll do it by shoving the legs quicker off the catch. Into 24. 1, 2, shove. One more minute at this rate. Breathe. Push. When we go up again, I want you to relax shoulders and use your lats. Into, this is 1, 2, 26, last 2 minutes. Last minute. And paddle. Whew. Blowing the lid off the bottle. All right, we've got 5.5 minutes of rest. Taking deep breaths, focusing on the exhale. That'll help your heart rate come down quickly. Get ready for the next piece. It's always a good idea to stand up for a minute or so in between pieces. Stretch out your back so you're not in a sitting position for 2 hours. Any questions, comments, thoughts? How was it? That was harder than I expected. But that's probably, I should probably just learn to expect that. Rarely is it easier than I expect. That is a dangerous thing to expect. Just to give an idea of effort, my heart rate was 160 on that. Maybe it got to 165, I wasn't looking. So that is squarely in the anaerobic threshold range. Not quite max. My max is 185. But we'll try to get there by the end. It is quite humid here in upstate New York, which means that I am sweating a lot. That is unusual. It has been cold. It snowed here a couple days ago. Three minutes left of rest. This workout is a pretty standard workout for the spring on the national team. Although we usually do it on the water. We do 2Ks, step rate 2Ks on the water in pairs. That is a standard Saturday workout. And usually we start lower rates like this. And by the time we get to team selection for the Olympic team, we're doing it in the kind of 26 to 32 range. Two more minutes. The rest always feels like a long time after the first piece, but by the time we get to the fifth, it'll go by before you know it. Now it's a good time to take a look at the average split from your last piece that is still on your screen. Memorize it. Try to beat it on your next piece, even if only just by 0.1, 1/10 of a split. 1 more minute of rest. Strap in, start paddling here. Just paddle light. "30 more seconds. We'll build into the next piece. So I'll call the build about 10 seconds before we go. All right, add a little pressure. We got 10 seconds. We'll go into 1, 2, and we're on. Stroke rate 22. Establish a rhythm here. Make sure you're breathing. Two more minutes at a 22 before we go up. Into, shove legs to 24. That's 1. Here, build. One more minute at this rate. In 2, engage your last, build to 26. 1, 2. Last minute. Paddle. Nice work. Two down. 4 to go. Remember, if you don't have time or you just don't have the energy, you can always just do a few of these and cool down. Get at least 5 minutes of paddling, cool down. Of course, if you do have the time, and even if you feel like you don't have the energy, it's always good mentally to push through to the end.
It feels very easy on this workout to go too quick in the first couple.
Yeah, for sure. I'm starting to wonder whether I did that just because it's so warm in here. I am pouring sweat. But hey, you know, sometimes that's the way you learn. That's also the way you get fitter. Whew. All right, I'm gonna stand up, stretch my back. We've got a little over 3 minutes left of rest. So as you probably figured out by now, the focuses I'm doing on the shifts is push legs for the first shift to the 24. Make sure that you're initiating with your glutes as you turn the handle around. And the second shift to the 26, I'm focusing on using lats, making sure I don't get my shoulders up around my ears. So shoulders down, engaging the lats. Those are the two focuses as we shift. And of course, the first 4 minutes, I'm just focusing on breathing and getting into a good rhythm. You're probably going to hear the noise of the fan over my speaker, but too bad, I want the fan on. 2 more minutes of rest. A little over a minute more rest here. It's a good time to strap in, paddle a little bit. Thirty more seconds. Ten seconds, start to build. We'll go in 2, 1, and we're on, 22. 2 more minutes at 22. In 2 shove legs. 1, 2, 24. One more minute at 24. In 2, engage last. 1, 2, 26. last minute. Paddle. That one went a lot better for me. I think having the fan on made a big difference. From what I understand, the limiting factor for elite marathon runners is how fast they can dissipate body heat. Because, of course, aerobic metabolism creates heat, and if you get too hot, you are not able to metabolize and produce energy. So for elite marathon runners, the ideal temperature to run a marathon in is like 40 degrees. I think it's like high 30s, low 40 degrees. A temperature where most of us would be freezing, but because they're producing so much heat, it's actually good for them to be in a colder environment. So that's why our performance deteriorates when it's too hot and humid out. And that's why it's good to have a fan. Sometimes when I work out at the gym, I am a total fan hog. I will just move the fan right in front of my erg and sit there for an hour. Nobody else gets to use the fan. That is, of course, not among teammates. That is at a regular gym. My teammates are much more forceful about about sharing a fan. Another interesting thing, actually, if you've ever tried a dynamic, Concept 2 dynamic, which is, if you haven't seen it, it's a slightly different setup, so that instead of you moving back and forth, the machine moves back and forth underneath you. So when you do that, you don't get the same wind from moving back and forth, because you're in one place. It actually gets a lot more hot and sweaty as opposed to the regular Concept 2 erg where you're moving back and forth. So if you ever try a dynamic, you definitely need a fan. In fact, somebody sells, there's like some, I don't even know the company, never tried it, but there's a company that sells a hood that you put over your flywheel that directs the output from the flywheel towards you, which seems like a great idea. I've just never tried it. I don't know what effect it has on your drag factor or your splits. 2 more minutes of rest. Actually, I really like rowing when it's windy out, at least if I'm in a big boat. Because it just makes it more interesting, you know? It makes you have to think a little more. And I figure if everyone else in the race hates the wind and you kind of like it, well, that's just an advantage for you. So you might as well enjoy it. All right, 1 more minute left. Time to strap in and start paddling. Thirty more seconds of rest. All right, 10 seconds, time to start building. We'll go in 2. That's 1, 2, 22. Two more minutes at 22. into shove legs. That's 1, 2, 24. Another minute at 24. Into engage left. This is 1, 2, 26. Last minute. Paddle. Whew. Whew. Breathing deeply. Feeling good. That's 4 down. 2 to go. So I predict the second to last one, this next one coming up, will be mentally quite tough because we're all tired, but there's not quite the light at the end of the tunnel yet. It's not quite the last piece. So the way to approach this one is to stay in the moment. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Don't start thinking about the end. Just stay on whatever stroke you're on and focus on pushing on that stroke. Also, sometimes just going into it, knowing that it's going to feel hard, sometimes that helps. Because when it does start to feel hard, you're not surprised. You can say, hey, I'm ready for this. This is how it's supposed to feel. And stand up, stretch my back. I recommend everybody else do that too. How's everybody feeling? Got 2 more in you? Hope so. We're going to do 2 more. Three more minutes of rest. I brought an apple with me to eat, but I'm actually not hungry. I think sometimes when I'm too warm, then I don't get hungry. If you find yourself shaking, that's when you know you need a snack. To get low blood sugar, you'll start to get a little bit trembly. And that's an early warning sign that your performance is about to crash. So hopefully you're not there. Two more minutes of rest. Alright, just a little over a minute left. Start strapping in. And we'll paddle here. 1 minute. Alright, prepare yourself. Second to last piece. Just stay in the moment. Stay on the stroke you're on. 30 seconds. Start building here. We'll go into 1, 2, and we're on 22. Two more minutes at 22. Into shove legs. 1, 2, 24. another minute, 24. Team 2, last, 1, 2, 26. Last minute. Huddle. All right, that was second to last. We got one more. Nice job, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me.
I might need a nap at the end of this.
Good. That's how you get stronger.
Naps?
Uh-huh.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
You get stronger while you're resting. Of course, you got to go through this first. So I'm getting faster throughout this workout, but I will not finish as fast as I predicted. I am not yet below 6K pace. I am for the 26, but not for the average of the piece. That's okay. Getting stronger. Got 4 minutes left of rest. I'm going to stand up. So there is now a light at the end of the tunnel. That doesn't mean that the last piece will be easy, but it does mean that it will be done. The goal is, of course, to make this your fastest. I'm going to start out I'm just going to try to do a split faster than I did the last one, which of course means starting a split faster. I'll probably actually finish more than a split faster, so this might be more than a split faster on average, but we'll see. You know what? I'm going to throw in a little something fun for the last minute. You can go whatever rate you want. If you want to stay at a 26, fine, great. If you want to bump it up and just see how fast you can go, then do that. I'll probably do a 28 for the last minute. Just a little chance to sprint it home. Got about 2 more minutes of rest. Minute 30. Time to strap in and start paddling. One minute. Seconds. Ten seconds. Start to build here. We'll go into 1, 2, and we're on. 22. 2 more minutes at 22. Into shove legs. 1, 2, 24. Another minute here. Into 1, 2, last 26. Into, take it home. Open right. 1, 2.
Thanks for pushing us.
Yeah, nice job, everyone. That last one was good. Whew. I went 2 splits faster on the last one. Shows that a lot of my fatigue was probably mental. Definitely capable of more. Next week. Whew. All right, so we'll take a few more minutes here, catch our breath, and then just do a nice, easy cool down. Plan for the cool down is 10 minutes of rowing, including a couple 20s, just to get the lactate out, and then 5 minutes of stretching. Anybody have any thoughts, observations, questions? How was that last minute? Did you like doing the opening it up for open rate? I liked it. It's a little something to look forward to, you know? You know, you can always sprint at the end.
Yeah, look, I really appreciate it. I mean, I wouldn't want to put myself through that much pain by myself. So I can only put myself through that level of discomfort if other people are doing it, apparently. I don't have the will to do it by myself.
Yeah. No shame in that. That's why this is a team sport. All right, I'm going to get up for a quick sec, stretch my back, and then we'll start to cool down. I'm going to turn off my fan so that you can hear me a little better. Quick stretch. I definitely felt my back in that last piece. I'm going to have to treat it a little nicely for the rest of the weekend. All right. Quick drink. I'm going to do my cool down feet out. I always recommend feet out whenever and wherever you can. I think it's really good to make sure that you're supporting through the drive into the finish, that you're supporting with your core and not collapsing. Okay, cool down time. We'll just start out rowing really nice and easy. One arm only. Doesn't matter which arm, just pick one. Make sure you're reaching out, shoulder down, lat engaged. See if you can reach your hand all the way to the cage of the erg without collapsing. So I'm not talking like this. I want you to keep your your chest up and reach down and kind of around and out with your arm and your lat. Switch hands in 2. That's 1. 2. Same thing. Shoulder down. reaching with the lat, chest up. I really like this for cool down because it just feels like a nice good stretch. You can just kind of lean on the handle a little bit and really stretch out those lats. And 2, both hands on. 1, 2. I want to do some pausing at the finish now. Thinking about where the handle is when you pull it in. It should be just above your belly button. Pause it, finish in 2, 1, 2. Take 1 stroke, go. I also want you to think about squeezing your shoulder blades. Go. Your shoulder blades should be down and back at that finish pause. So you probably figured out just like a micro pause here. Just a little gather at that finish position. And we're going to slowly eliminate the pause, eliminate the gather. Let the hands come around a little more continuously, but making sure you're still coming through that nice supported position. We'll do 1 more minute of steady rowing, and then do a few 20s, and then we'll be done with the cool down. You can keep it nice and light here. I'm pulling about 10 splits slower than my normal steady state. All right. In 2, we'll do 20 strokes at a 20. This is going to be a little harder press, just to flush out. In 2, 1, 2, build to 20. So this is about steady state press. 5 more. Paddle. Do a couple more of those. Do a 22 and a 24. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, just flushing it out. We'll go 22 and 2. 1. 2. This should be just a little harder than steady. Ten more. Paddle. And last 20 coming up. We'll be at 24. Just focusing on no extra movements. Everything as efficient as possible. In 2. 1. 2. 10 more. And paddle. Paddle it out for 10. And then we're done. I'm just going to stretch for a couple minutes. I'll stick around if anybody has any questions, just wants to chit chat. Sure enough, that workout was almost 2 hours. Well done, guys. We're down to 3 warriors who did the full 2 hours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. See you later.
See you later, Deb.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll stick around for some stretching, but just wanted to say thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. Eric, you probably were the one who inspired me to do these video ergs, because you were the first one who said, "Hey, let's erg together," and I realized that it was possible.
I think the other thing too, like, which would be really neat, side thought, but those masterclass things. But like Karin Davies teaches rowing.
Yeah, that's true. They're pretty professionally done, right? Like pro studio
Totally.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And they have Venus Williams teaches tennis and stuff like that, and
Wow.
Simone Biles teaches gymnastics. Get your publicist and agent out there.
I'm actually super curious what it's like to do the Simone Biles teaches gymnastics, because I just have no concept of how I would do gymnastics at home, but I guess that's why you ask a professional. Cool.
Look, we're fun.
Fun. Thanks for joining, Lou.
Yep.
How was your workout?
Lots of regret of horsing down a big breakfast and then immediately jumping on the erg. So it was pretty unhappy for the first 25 minutes, and then just got used to it. But
yeah, well,
lesson learned for next time.
Good for you for pushing through. All right, I'm gonna start my weekend, but talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for joining.